The Administrative Court for the City and County of San Francisco is now in session. I am the Honorable Francis Saliano presiding. The defense does not need to stand. This is on Zoom.
I knew that.
The purpose of this preliminary hearing is to examine whether or not there is enough evidence regarding the alleged crimes of the missing Stevie D, not only against humanity, but other species. The species of flora and fauna as well, not only for past crimes, for crimes he will most assuredly commit in the future. Are both representatives present?
Yes, Your Honor. Muriel Bryce Howard for the prosecution.
Yes, sweetheart.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I ate polyethylene pain pellets this morning, Your Honor. Mr. Oliver Microwave Oven Flour Waffle III for the defense.
Your name is Mr. Oliver Microwave Oven Flour Waffle?
The third. Yes, Your Honor. It's a Maori Inuit Moldavan derivation.
Very well. Mr. Stevie D, AKA Stevie the Nose, AKA Mr. Stinky Pants, AKA Mr. Kickable Face, AKA Cindy McCain, has been charged with multiple crimes against humanity, up to and including kicking a war widow in the shins, keeping overdue videotapes from library, and sustained planet-wide terror. Despite the fact that he's been missing for several weeks, his egregious actions must be recommend prosecution to the grand jury. Will the prosecution begin with their opening statement?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. And I believe the word you were looking for is egregious. The people seek to establish that Stevie D violated multiple laws on the city, state, and federal levels. He is wanted in 6 states for bank fraud, manslaughter, tax evasion, and kicking war widows. And although he is considered missing, the people demand action up to prosecution in absentia.
Thank you for that, Ms. Howard. Will the defense proceed with your opening statement?
Your Honor, I thought we were doing this trial in America. I guess that lawyer lady loves the nation of absentia more than the good old US of A. Now, let's examine what that lady said. When she said bank fraud, what she really means is Stevie D just cares about kids that much. That and illegal financial deception. I ask you, is it a crime to love this country as much as you love the USA? And is it a crime to get secret stock tips from Wall Street insiders and use that information to one's own advantage?
Yes, it's called insider trading.
Insider trade? Never heard of it. Is that like trading baseball cards?
No, it is not. Mr. Waffle, is that your opening statement?
Except to say that my client is guilty.
What?
Oh, I mean innocent. That means he didn't do it, right?
The defense will kindly address the bench with his deliberation.
Oh, sorry, Debbie.
What?
Oh, I mean, Your Honor.
Never mind. Before we begin, we'd like to have a quick word from our sponsors. Even though this is quite unorthodox and unusual, we need the money. We'll be right back.
And now it's time for the Vegas Strip with Joey Vegas. Culture commentator Joey Vegas strips down the events of our times to their bare essentials, as only Joey can. Hey, Joey, why is it that every state legislature has a bicameral body, yet Nebraska is the only state with a unicameral legislature?
Well, I would say this. The state of Nebraska has always had, for as long as I can remember, and you can go probably look deep into the early, this or that.
And we're back. Ms. Howard, please begin.
Yes, Your Honor.
I object.
She hasn't said anything yet.
Oh, sorry. Well, I thought it's one of those court things you do, like on Boston Legal.
The defense will refrain from interrupting or I will hold you in contempt.
That's okay. A lot of people hold me in contempt.
Okay, Your Honor, the people would like to submit into evidence Exhibit A, this document titled All of My Crimes and Misdemeanors by Stevie D, a forward by Johnny Depp. It lists the incredible details of, I dare say, hilariously incriminating events. Every crime Stevie D ever committed, including ones he was planning. He was even so dumb as to include not only his picture and signature next to all of his statements, but he even has an admission of guilt notarized by a notary public. Who does that? I mean, he clearly has demonstrated a lack of remorse for the crimes he has committed and admitted guilt for.
Mr. Waffle?
The third, Your Honor, I happen to have some documented evidence myself. It's right here, and it says that lawyer lady is a jerk face.
The defense will kindly refrain from insulting the prosecution.
Your Honor, the people would also like to submit into evidence Exhibit B.
It looks like a pen.
It is a pen that Stevie D promoted as an actual word processor and managed to sell to several charities, selling hundreds of them to St. Dom's School for Nerdy Children under the guise that they were computers.
Objection, Your Honor. It does technically process words, does it not? Like the way a beautiful sunset is technically a living landscape painting. We just have to consider the ephemeral aesthetics of its true meaning. That's all. Am I right? Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I get a whoop whoop? Can I? Oh, geez,
Ephemeral.
tough room here.
Mr. Waffle, I will not tolerate any grandstanding in my courtroom. Ms. Howard, please continue.
Yes, Your Honor, the prosecution would also like to present into evidence some witnesses to further bolster the state's position that Stevie D's crimes are so egregious and clear-cut. There is no other decision you can make except recommending this case to the grand jury.
Very well. You may call your first witness.
Yes, the people call Mr. Danny Scummioli to the
No
stand.
fair. I didn't know I could bring a friend.
He is a witness for the prosecution. If you have one more outburst like that, I will hold you in contempt and you will spend the night in jail.
Hey, I just like being held.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
The judge said, but sure, why not, Your Honor?
Mr. Scummioli, I have a sworn statement from you that you were not only Stevie D's driver and financial advisor, but personally aided in committing no less than 700 crimes. Is that right?
I lost count up to 632.
Please describe for us, Mr. Scummioli, in detail the events of August 8th of last year.
Oh, you mean the orphan scam? Yeah, well, that was great. You know, some church owned an orphanage, so we rolled up in a Volvo and promised to find them all good homes for a nominal fee. We found some stock photos of couples in the photo album aisle at Sears, mailed the pictures to the head orphanage guy, and told him that they were couples eager to adopt. They sent a check, and we told them to meet them at a predetermined location.
And where was this location?
Well, this is where Stevie and I differ. I would have sent them to a park or someplace pretty like that, but he's the kind of guy that would step on your kneecaps if you're lying on the ground, you know, just for the sport of it. He had them meet at a jet engine fuel depot next to the airport.
Isn't that a super fun toxic cleanup site?
Well, I don't know about that, but it was super fun sight if you were in on the scam.
Let me get this straight, Mr. Scummioli. These kids were just left there breathing in airliner jet exhaust, sitting in the cold?
Objection, Your Honor. Let's be fair. We don't know if it was cold or if they were sitting. I mean, they could have been standing or in some kind of weird yoga pose. We just don't know. This is purely speculation by the prosecution, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Thank you. No more questions, Your Honor.
Your witness, counselor.
Mr. Scummioli, This little known church is from some obscure religion, I suppose. I mean, what are they? Seventh-day Taoist Mennonites or Christian Science Hindu Lutherans?
I believe it was the Catholic Church.
Uh-huh. And this obscure religion you speak of probably what? Has a handful of followers?
Are you saying you've never heard of the Catholic Church before?
I'm a devoted practitioner of Zoroastrianism. That's how I roll. No more questions, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Howard.
Yes, on September 12th, Mr. Scamioli, of last year, you confessed to assisting Stevie D in deceiving seniors into buying land 7 miles due east of Boston, Massachusetts. Let the record show that 7 miles east of Boston is the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, that was funny.
I don't find stealing the retirement savings of hundreds of seniors very funny.
I bet you haven't tried it.
Mr. Scamioli, answer the question.
Yes, we advertised for some senior gambling junket. And when we got the old timers, all together on the bus, that's when he faked that their AARP memberships had expired. Then he'd pass around a clipboard with some documents saying that he guaranteed that they will live in a place where the waiters speak clearly and the printing is really large on the menus. They ate that up.
And Stevie D was present for all of these events, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Once he collected the signatures, he'd put them in a manila envelope titled Fraud File. Then he'd record himself on his iPhone saying something like, "I love crime," or "Judges are stupid."
No more questions.
Your witness, Mr. Waffle.
The third, Mr. Scamioli, when you said he would speak into his iPhone how much he loved crime, in what way would he say it?
Well, usually in like a high-pitched voice, like a little girl, "I love crime, judges are stupid."
Okay, and did he ever say anything about crime?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Did he ever mention or include any dates or locations or anyone who was involved in those crimes?
About 4 times.
4 times? Only 4 times. Your Honor, he admitted and confessed to only 4 felonies. Don't you think he's innocent now?
No.
Wow, I am so going to lose. Mr. Scamioli, you are a well-known dirtbag.
Hey, I've been called worse, and that was from my therapist.
Mhm. Do you mean to tell the court that a pure and true and just and selfless giver like Stevie D would ever associate with a man like you?
What, are you kidding? His Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and Twitter profiles all have pictures of us hanging out.
I'm sorry, I don't know who Snapface or Instabrook are.
Mr. Waffle.
The third?
Mr. Waffle, the third. Are you finished questioning the witness?
I do have one more question, Your Honor. Mr. Scamioli, you look like you've been on trial before. Do you know how this whole courtroom thing works? I mean, they use these crazy words and they still use Latin?
Mr. Waffle.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Your witness, Ms. Howard.
Yes, Mr. Scamioli, in your signed affidavit that I have right here, you admitted to aiding Stevie in multiple crimes. Since the state has offered immunity to you for divulging information leading up to a conviction, I should remind you that the deal only works if and when there is a conviction.
Like there ain't gonna be no conviction.
Yes, so although this is a hearing, it does affect whether this goes to the grand jury for full prosecution. And I don't need to impress upon you, surely, the gravity that this hearing holds. You said in your affidavit that you openly and brazenly committed multiple felonies with Stevie D, and that he not only was involved in these crimes, but he planned and executed them. For the record, please state some of these crimes.
You mean the ones in addition to the ones you already know about?
Please indulge us.
Well, let's see. Extortion, armed robbery, violating UN charters, and I think that's about it. Oh, wait. And multiple muggings.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Waffle, get on with it.
Okay, Your Honor, when that dirtbag says extortion, I mean, who really knows what that means?
It means using illegal tactics to pressure or exact unfair terms from a second party.
Oh, extortion. Uh-huh.
Is
Okay,
this guy
cool.
for real or what?
Hey. I am the law guy here. Now, Mr. Scamioli, you said that Stevie D had violated a UN charter. Do you expect us to believe that one man can violate a UN charter?
Yeah, section 452.7. It covers indigenous people seeking redress from the former colonial occupiers. Everyone knows that.
Oh, section 452.7. Yeah, All right. No more questions, Your Honor.
You may step down now.
Step down, Yana. I'm not even standing up.
Ms. Howard, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people call Mr. Frankie Shakes to the stand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I mean, I guess. Does it have to be in front of God?
Just answer yes.
Yes.
Great. Mr. Shakes. You
I swear to God, I didn't touch her. She said she was in college. How did I know she was your cousin?
What are you talking about? I want to know about the relationship you have with the missing Stevie D.
I thought you were going to ask me about something else. Keep it together, Frankie. And they won't ask you about the bus station locker.
We can hear you, Mr. Shakes.
I had nothing to do with that. I didn't know the ambassador would be carrying the metal briefcase. It was Stevie D. Yeah, that's it. It was Stevie D. He took the microfilm.
I was going to ask you about a land use easement for a parcel development in Washington State. Mr. Shakes, would you please tell the court how a 2.5% easement negated the parcel tax of 5.9% in a domicile zoned in a commercial corridor adjusted for inflation? And how that resulted in a 27% increase to 630 outlay covering an 1,800-foot square unit?
Your Honor, that's not fair. It was my understanding there would be no math.
The witness will answer the question.
I don't know, honestly, what a 2.5% appeasement is, but I can tell you it was Stevie D who ran that scam operation. Business. I meant to say business. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
No more questions, Your Honor.
The defense may cross-examine.
Mr. Shakes, how do I know I can trust anything that you say? I mean, you are a well-known scumbag.
I am not a scumbag. My mom says I'm cool.
Damn, he's good. All right, Frankie Shakes, you've won this round with your legal expertise, but you haven't heard the last from me. No more questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Howard?
Yes, Mr. Shakes, in your deposition, you stated that
I had nothing to do with that. That was all Stevie D. He buried the flash drives with the hookers' names on them. He's the one who gave advice to Jeffrey Epstein. He's the one who knew the truth about Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant? A hero to millions who died in a tragic helicopter crash?
That's what they want you to think. It's all a part of the movie Povich Hello Kitty Richard Simmons conspiracy.
Okay, no more questions.
Does the defense wish to cross-examine?
Do I? Mr. Shakes, if you insist on using obscure words only scholars know, like flash drive and Maury Povich, these proceedings will not go in your favor. Now, do you deny that you both took part in the crime of Flurgsnarb?
What are you talking about?
In the language of my dimensional plane of existence, that means petty larceny. Regardless of which alternate dimension you live in, it's still a crime. No more questions, Your Honor.
Can I go home, Your Honor? This guy makes me nervous.
You may step down. Does the defense wish to call more witnesses?
Can I be a witness?
No.
Well, I would like to submit into evidence Exhibit B, my car keys. I'm always losing them, and I want to keep them someplace I can find them. I mean, I can't even find them now.
Your Honor, I would like to submit into evidence that the defense attorney is an idiot. Can we do that?
I am not an idiom. I was raised in the Shinto tradition.
Do you have any more witnesses to call?
Are you sure I can't question myself? I mean, how well do you really know the law?
No, you can't. And I know the law very well. In fact, the law allows me to put you in jail for the night.
Then no.
Before I render my decision, I want to begin with final summations. Ms. Howard, please proceed.
Your Honor, thank you. And the good citizens of the city and county of San Francisco, before you is evidence of a man so bereft of morals and principles that he even charged his own mother money to consult with him.
Objection, Your Honor. She was given the employee discount.
Overruled. Let me remind you, we are in final summations. You cannot interrupt. The time for deliberation is over. Do I make myself clear?
Opaquely, Your Honor.
Ms. Howard, please continue.
Thank you. In addition to the charges submitted here, Stevie D, although still missing, must nevertheless answer for his crimes against the state and humanity as well. State Penal Code 457.3 clearly states that an individual who engages actions deemed unlawful thus forfeits his ability to receive consideration for said actions. If individuals CVD are allowed to mock the law and enrich themselves through the suffering of other people and then brag about it on social media, then no verdict can be reached other than guilty. And thus I recommend submitting this to the grand jury forthwith and post haste. Thank you.
Mr. Waffle?
Yeah, Your Honor, what was that state penis code thing she was talking about?
Mr. Waffle, you are seriously trying my patience.
Okay. Mr. Stevie D may have committed crimes against humanity, but who hasn't in their youth? Stevie D may have embezzled funds from at-risk youth programs, exploited his own mother, and is wanted in 3 Canadian provinces for moose theft. But I'm sorry. Wait. You weren't supposed to know about that. Can you strike that from the record?
What?
Oh, by that I mean charitable contributions. The court must take into consideration his reading to deaf kids, his effort to restore classic video games. I mean, who doesn't love Pong? The point being, Stevie D is guilty and must receive the harshest punishment. I mean, oh, wait a minute. Wait. No, Stevie D's innocent. That's right. God, that was close.
Mr. Waffle, I'm beginning to get the impression you are not a real practicing attorney. If you are, then you know the penalty for impersonating an attorney in this state is mandatory jail sentence. Did you even take the bar exam?
I was kicked out of bartending school all because of politics. That, and I was accused of stealing window panes from the dormitory. You see, it's all politics. It's those lousy libertarians.
Before I render a verdict in this hearing, I think we all should consider the ramifications of what is before us. And I need to use the facilities. So we'll be right back after this message.
Hello, everybody. I am Gary Ulla. I'm the best and most #1 psychic in Israel. If you want to know the secrets that I know, the secrets to the Dead Sea Scrolls, Masada, and where that other sock goes in the dryer, I don't know. It is a mystery to all of us. Therefore, I recommend you check out 1-800-GARY. That is not something you check out, you call. Therefore, I would like to resend. Suddenly, I've done French. I don't know why. Can we do this again? Pardon me. I don't know why I did that. I don't.
And welcome back. Ordinarily, after final summations, I deliberate on the merits of the case before rendering a recommendation to send this case to the grand jury. But the evidence revealed in this preliminary hearing is so clear, it will only take me tens of seconds to make a decision. Therefore, this leaves me no other choice than to recommend this case be submitted to the grand jury. At this time, let the record be documented and submitted as stated. Thank you all for your participation. Good night.
Hey, wait a minute, Judge. Does this mean I still get paid for the TV broadcast?
We're finished, Mr. Waffle. Whatever you do is of no business to this court. Good night.
Well, since we're finished, do you want to have a
Thank you,
drink
Your
at Tony's
Honor.
bar down the street?
I certainly do not, and I do not have any social relations with court's legal counsels.
How about you, attorney lady? What's your name again? Mario?
It's Muriel, you idiot. And I want nothing to do with you. Thanks. Please refrain from speaking to me until after the broadcast is complete.
Sore loser. I don't care.
Uh-huh,
I got a couple
Judge.
of broads waiting for me at Tony's, and you're not going to get to enjoy the party and the fun.
Mr. Waffle, please leave my court. Just turn around and walk out and leave my court. I can't stand the sight of you anymore.
We're on Zoom.
You're an embarrassment to this legal system.
Hey, Judge, what have you been drinking?
Tea.
Not enough.
Tea? Some weird-looking tea to me. You sound... I want some of that tea.
It's been a long day, Mr. Waffle.
Hey,
And it didn't
Mario,
end well with you.
they got pizza at Tony's, so, you know, you can buy me a slice.
Come on, Mario.
What's your name again?
Muriel, you did a great job out there.
Good job, Muriel.
Hey, Danny,
Yes,
Great
Can you
job,
get paid
Mario.
It was a trial.
yes.
DVD's a goner.
He was waffle head, sure.
Right, I don't know what happened. I thought...